So, welcome back, guys, and I hope you have actually tried what I asked you to do in the previous video. Remember, this is to try and actually engage you and make you feel like you're in a classroom. I don't want you to be really bored and feel like you're just a spectator when you listen to these videos. Now, let's continue. Um, I'm just going to take a quick recap. We have established actually that when we talk of a linear sequence, we're talking of a sequence that has the form Tn equals to An plus C. And I want to also challenge you once again, ask you again if f of x equals to ax plus q or f of x equals to mx plus c rings a bell in your mind when you actually see this. What I need you to really understand here, guys, is that a linear sequence is just a linear function. They are one and the same thing, and I'll keep on repeating this so that it can stay in your mind. So you can see Tn is just a replacement of f of x. And you see, if you were using the formation ax plus q, you can see we still have an a, and then n replaces x, so n is our input, and then q, we knew this from grade 10 to be the y-intercept, and yes, you can think of it as a y-intercept, because if you were to sketch a sequence, in fact, what you guys should try is to actually plot graphs of sequences, and of course, what you will do, you will only have the positive x-axis and some y-axis, so maybe the entire set of y-axis. Just depends on what your range is. But for now, your domain is literally, if you can think of functions again, your domain when we deal with sequences, your domain is actually x greater or equals to 1. Okay, because you always start from term 1 to term 2 to term 3, etc. So that is basically your domain. And of course, we must indicate that x is a real number here, right? So that's just it. So in the same way, guys, if you think of a quadratic sequence, it should then take the form of a quadratic function, which you know as a parabola, right? So it has this form as I introduced it subtly so in the previous video. It has the form Tn equals to an squared plus bn plus c. And I hope you can also see the resemblance in the quadratic function, whether it is this form or it is that form. You should just note that in this form here, b is actually 0. That's why we don't have the term that has x. Okay, that's all you have to note here. Okay, so you need to again be able to link one mathematical topic to another in your school career and know that topics in mathematics rather are not isolated, are not separated from one another, but they are joined. Okay, so that's very important. Let's move on. So we want to further explore the quadratic function, and I will start with this. Okay, I have told you already that this quadratic sequence has this general form Tn equals to an squared plus bn plus c, and Tn is 2n squared minus 6n plus 1. We've given 2. In 1, this is just the general form. Remember that. General. This one is now specific. You have a particular sequence. Okay. Now, what is the first term in each sequence? First term refers to T1. Now, for the general, I'll write G. For the specific one, I'll write S. For the general one, we have the following. T1 is actually A into 1 squared plus B into 1 plus C. And you can see that this actually simplifies to A plus B plus C. There's a reason I'm doing this, and you need to pay attention. The second, which is the specific sequence, T1 is 2 into 1 squared minus 6 into 1 plus 1. This is 2 minus 6 plus 1. And I hope you can see that everything here simplifies to a negative 3. If you have not realized, you should realize that actually what I've done here, I've given you the general term for the sequence that we started the discussion with. That sequence that started with a negative 3, then another negative 3. Okay, this is actually the formula for that quadratic sequence. Now, the next thing that I want you guys to do, and I hope you really do this as I close this video, I want you to go ahead and find the first rather 6 terms of each sequence. I have already found the first term for you. This means you are going to work only on 5 terms. So you go on and find, you know, T1 now for the general form. T1 is A plus B plus C. I want you to find T2. Now, as you do that, I must say, indicate this. I want you to write these things in this order. You are going to have T1, you are going to have T2, T3, T4, T5, and T6. This is for the general. And I want you, you see, I'm going to fill this one for you, A plus B plus C. Now, go ahead and find out what T2 should be, T3, T4, T5, and T6 should be for this general sequence. I will see you guys later. Cheers.